Oh, between the bookends is mine. Okay, well, we're going to be talking about my interview with Alex London. He is the author of the book Proxy, but he has another novel called The Guardians. It was a fun chat with him. Check this interview out. Obviously, Proxy was addictive and addicting, and so now I feel like I have a new drug coming in the form of Proxy, Praise for Proxy and Guardian. Guardian, let's talk about this book.
So Guardian was the sequel that I never planned to write. When I wrote Proxy, I thought that was it. I told the story I wanted to tell. It was done. Apparently it wasn't done with me, though, and the characters were still talking in my head. Sid and his friends were not done. I had more story to tell. I wanted to explore the aftermath. You know, usually in these dystopian sci-fi stories, you get some big revolution, something huge happens, and then that's it.
And then that's it,
Happily ever after.
And you always wonder, what happens next?
And so I wanted to write, what happens next?
Exactly.
What is the aftermath? What happens when the good guys win? What happens? Do the bad guys just disappear? No. And so I wanted to explore if the ideology of Proxy is this free market run amok, you know, everything costs, there's always a debt to be paid, nothing's free. I wanted to explore the opposite. What happens when equality runs amok and this ideology starts to replace basic humanity? And how would Sid deal with that? And so Guardian is an exploration of that. And there's more action, the stakes are higher, the danger is bigger. But unlike in Proxy, there might be a little romance for young Sid.
Oh, wow. Now I really can't wait to get into that. Darn it. But was there a definitive point where you said, I need to make a sequel?
It came...
was it a back and forth with yourself and with your peers?
Well, it was a back and forth with my publisher, but I couldn't stop thinking about Sid, and I couldn't stop thinking about this story, and I casually mentioned something to my editor, and then the publisher called and said, we want more. And I said, but I don't know what the story would be. And they said, figure it out. We want to tell people on Monday. And this was on a Friday.
Oh, my goodness.
And so over the weekend, I took lots of walks and muttered to myself. I talked to myself and to my dog.
Walks with your flask?
My dog is actually my muse. And on Monday, I called them back and said, all right, here's my idea. Here's the story I want. And luckily, the publisher, Penguin Books, has had such faith in me that without having a word written on the page, they said, all right, let's do it.
Did you find that your process in coming up with the story or building the story for Guardian, was it easier or harder or more challenging than it was with Proxy?
It was much harder. Because Proxy, I could make up the rules as I went. I could make up the technology. I could make up all the things. By the time I got to the sequel, I'd created all those rules. I'd established a social order. I had characters who I'd made do things. I set the bar. And then I had to meet it. And I also, I had a lot of fans for Proxy who had expectations. And so they were in my head, chattering away, saying, I want this, I want that. And I was very nervous. Am I going to disappoint them? Are they going to like this? It's a very different book. It's a bit darker, and it's very different. And I was worried. I thought, are they going to hate it? Are they going to hate me then? Because I throw so much of myself into it. Luckily, the response has been amazing. People have been willing to go with me where I want to take them. And it's been really fun to see how that process has gone since it's come out. But it was one of the hardest books.
Does it end there, or could there be?
Right now, I have no third book planned. But there is room for more. I certainly have more stories in this world I could tell.
That is a hint.
We'll see what happens next.
We are all crossing our fingers, toes, and eyes that we get more stories coming from you. Well, once again, thank you for taking time to be with us and share with us your works of art and your thoughts.
Thank you
for your time, Alex.
Thanks so much.